up, you guys? I am here today with a very special guest. I have with me, you may know her. She's a YouTuber. You may know her as the Pink Pill. Miss Christelyn is here with me today, and we're going to do an interview about what she's doing on YouTube, what she's doing off of YouTube, and basically get into what she's doing. So, Christelyn, would you like to give the people, give the Lailah Lynn audience, let them know who you are and what you do?
Hey, come out there. Not right now.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. So my goal for Black women is to elevate. So on my channel, The Pink Pill, we talk about strategies to win, and it's all encompassing. So I started on YouTube because I wrote a book called Swirling that was optioned into a movie at one point. So I got my platform based on empowering Black women to choose character over color and encourage them to date men of all races, not just Black. So there was some bumps because of the controversy. And over time, I realized when I was speaking with Black women, there were other issues and challenges that were making them feel like they couldn't navigate certain spaces with confidence. And so over time, I created the Pink Pill. And the Pink Pill is a course, it's an online finishing school, but specifically for Black women to give us all the information that people just don't tell us. We just don't know. And then I took it a step further and created the Pink Pill for Business, which just launched last week. And the Pink Pill for Business is about leveraging relationships, style, and strategy to win in the business climate. Because here's the thing, relationships are the #1 thing that gets you from the basic level of your professional life to a more elevated level, to more success. When you have good style, when you are dressing for your body type and you are wearing the proper clothing that complement you, you do get paid more. Statistics does pan that out. Also, mentors, having mentors also they're essential to your success in business. You have to have people who are going to root for you and who are going to ride you through to the next level. No person is an island. Nobody gets where they are by themselves. You need to get people to help you. So this, along with a lot of the softer skills like business etiquette, interview etiquette, dining etiquette, I've combined in one course so that Black women will feel more confident and empowered to win in the workplace.
What can you give us an example of like a personal experience that you had that inspired your course?
To the new generation of parents, the young, the judge, the only thing that matters is if your baby is loved. However you do it, it's all good. Diapers that make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where the hell
You could try. You check over there, but I don't think I have it.
you handed it to me.
Yeah.
I brought it up. I don't see.
Well, yes, I can. So I call myself the perfectly imperfect coach in that I use my failures, my falling down and getting back up as teachable moments to other people. I think that it puts a tremendous amount of pressure on content creators when we have to personify this perfect life, this perfect lifestyle. It's not true. And it's also just not fair to other people because when they see you, it makes them feel like, my goodness, I could never live up to that perfection. So what I do is when I fall down, I make it a teachable moment. And so it started way back when I was working in the corporate world, when I just got fresh out of college and I had a degree. I graduated cum laude from a very prestigious school. And so I was just going to show them. I was just going to go in there and I was going to show them. And there were a lot of things that I didn't understand about how to relate to people, how to work with people, the gender dynamics, things that I would walk into that I just was confused because nobody told me the rules of this secret game that everybody seemed to know, but I of us are the first generation to go to college, or we come from solid middle class or even low class backgrounds. So you're not really taught those soft skills, those unsaid things. And here's the kick though. In polite society, it's not proper to tell you if you're doing it wrong.
Wow.
And
So it's almost like you can't win.
You can't win. So you have to, somebody has to care enough about you to tell you.
So I know you recently shared on your channel an experience you had with someone that you mentored. Someone that you mentored went on to be very successful using what you taught her. And then can you tell us about that experience and what happened when you asked her to give to you what you had poured into her?
Yeah. So this particular person, I stumbled upon when I was doing research for the original Pink Pill. She was a blogger and she had an ebook, and I bought the ebook and I read it and I thought it was very, very good. And I circled back to her because I used her for a resource, and I circled back to her and I said, listen, you have some really good ideas here. You're obviously very bright. However, I feel like you are not reaching your potential. And this was after I had invited her onto a private group and introduced her to my community and told them of the book that she had. After she presented, I said, listen, you present very well. You are a very beautiful and intelligent woman. I feel like if you do these things, because she communicated to me that her book wasn't selling, that there wasn't a lot of visitors to her blog. And I told her step by step what to do and not to take anything away. I told her to stop selling the book, stop posting other women, other glamorous and elegant women on her Instagram, and make it solely about her glamour and her elegance, because she was enough. And then I told her to start a YouTube channel. She went on to do all of these things and more. And this is not to take away from her intelligence, hard work, because she is intelligent, she is a hard worker, and she's very, very good at implementing the advice. But once she got to a certain level, she acted like she just woke up like that.
And she clearly didn't. If you know her backstory, which I'm sure you do,
there's a lot I don't know, because here's the thing. I'm learning a lot after the fact. And I have to be honest with you, I'm a busy woman, I'm a wife, have 4 kids. And so there were certain things that I looked at, but there, as a whole, there were some things that I found out later that I wasn't privy to, or that were revealed to me later.
Yeah. I did read an article about her. The article was from a couple years ago, and it talked about how she had done, it talked about basically her physical makeover, like as far as plastic surgery and different things that she had done to her body to make her, I guess you would say, more attractive for an elite society. And it just made me wonder her origins and things she had done in the past. I think we both know what we're saying.
Yes.
So it didn't outright say that, but that's what it made me think.
Yes. And so I think that there may be a cultural element to how I was treated. I want to be very careful about how I broach this, because I want to be respectful. But I think that certain cultures can have mentalities where it's about getting what they want from other people, and about, like, that is just a cornerstone of their survival, is to use people for what they can get, because maybe circumstances in their growing up required for them to behave a certain way out of survival, or out of just the culture. So, I don't want to go more into that, but I would say that there may be a cultural thing, but it also could be a cultural thing with me, because I come from a Christian background, and a Black, I went to a Black church. I'm a Baptist, and we are taught to give. We are taught that if somebody needs help, if we have been blessed, how many times you said, we have been blessed, we are to bless others. So that is the framework that I come from. And I would have to say that the word that comes to mind is disappointed. I was disappointed, and it was very disheartening that a woman who I introduced to my community and gave advice to used that information to elevate herself, but then would not publicly acknowledge the help from this Black woman.
Yeah, because she is a white woman. And when you mentioned culture, were you speaking, because I noticed she has an accent, were you speaking of her like nationality?
Well,
or...
I think that
feel free
respectful here, because here's the thing.
But you know what? We try so hard. I'm not saying, to be disrespectful. You don't even seem like you would be disrespectful, but we try so hard to respect people who have disrespected us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I agree with you there. I would just say this. I would say that sometimes how we grow up and the circumstances in which we grow up, the region in which we grow up, the country in which we grow up can influence how we view people and how our behaviors manifest, and what we believe about how other people present themselves to us in the world.
Did she grow up in the U.S.?
No.
Where did she grow up?
I believe her background is Russian and Swedish.
And you feel like that might play a factor into how she viewed you as a Black American woman?
Some people would say that, yes.
Would you say that?
I wouldn't.
Pardon me?
I wouldn't say no.
You wouldn't say no, okay. Pink Pill keeping it so classy, so classy. But again, we haven't revealed her name. I'm sure some people might, put it in the comments or whatever. But this video is not necessarily to expose, this person, but this video is more about, Pink Pill's experience as a Black woman mentoring people, specifically, if I can be honest, mentoring a white woman who used and took everything that she gave her and made so much money off of it. And then when Christelyn turned around and asked her for a simple shout out because she had said she wanted to amplify Black women's voices. That's what people are, saying they're doing, that they're amplifying Black women's voices. So, in your video, you said you saw her say that. So you were like, okay, this is the perfect time to ask for a shout out because she does have, combined like over 1 million followers. So when you asked her for a shout out, what did she say?
Well, so here's how it went. And for those of you who want to know a little bit more about the background, you can follow me on my Instagram. I did post evidence of my experience because a lot of people didn't believe it because her platform was so huge. People thought that I was the one that copied her. And so I wanted to disabuse the people who had that assumption. Now, this was actually prior to her saying she wanted to amplify Native voices. We were having a phone conversation, and she was complaining. These Black women, they ask me how to navigate elite society as a Black woman. I'm not a Black woman. I don't know why they keep asking me these questions.
Yeah.
And so I didn't say anything at the time, but I did write her a message and I said, hey, would you be willing to shout out to your women of color who are having trouble in this way to say, hey, my friend Christelyn covers a lot of this stuff. While I'm very good at this, she may be able to better help you with an experience that I cannot identify with. It doesn't take anything away from her to say that I don't know how a Black woman navigates in elite society. It doesn't take anything away from her. However, she declined. She said, "Oh, I don't want to get into the race stuff, and I don't want to get it into that political stuff."
Political.
And at the time, I said, "Okay, I can understand that." And this was, a year ago, where we had this conversation.
Okay.
Memorialized on WhatsApp.
Okay.
And then there was another time where I was going to expand my platform to do coaching on how people can start their own online courses based on their passions and what they really want to teach other people. I said something about, hey, I would like to just mention that I've given you some insight on your platform and how you went on to do amazing things. And the response that I had from her was, when you are asking for recommendations, it is really not proper to tell people that's what you're going to do. And I need to speak to my business manager to see if this is going to be good for my brand. And anyway, while you gave me good advice for an hour, she said, for an hour. Well, you gave me good advice for an hour. I already had a marketing background, and I've spoken with other very powerful people, and I was already thinking about having a course, and you told me to do to transform the course to be about how to be classy, but I made it about elegance and entering high society, so it's different. And I thought to myself, so it means to me that instructions on how to be classy and elegant have nothing to do with what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that your platform prior to this and your book on how to be classy is totally different from how to enter polite society, as if class doesn't matter. And so because I'd never asked her for things. But the two times that I asked her, I knew it was also a feeling, because as her popularity grew, she disengaged.
Wow.
Spoke less.
Wow.
She wasn't even really liking my Instagram posts. So there was a feeling that I had, but in what I do, it's very, you have your hands tied behind your back. It can be a risk to call somebody out on something, especially when you're dealing in a space where you're trying to teach women how to navigate in a classy way. And so it was a risk for me to bring this out, but I had to, because that Melanated Voices post, and then knowing that she would not amplify. She had a melanated friend who showed her how all of this was done, that she refused to amplify.
Yeah.
And then what happened after that, maybe a day or two after I had told my community, because I felt like this, they need to know.
Mm-hmm.
People are free to make their decisions, but they need to know that this person may not be what will edify you as a woman of color.
Yeah.
And that maybe her interest and passion for your success should be something that should be examined.
Yeah.
And
Well,
days later, I'm sorry.
Now, I was just going to say, I'm glad you took that risk. And I wanted to go back. I know you said that she mentioned that you only, mentored her for an hour. I wanted to go back to what year it was, how long it was that you were in close contact and giving her information.
For about a year and a half. So people have this mistaken belief that I just met her, and 5 minutes after I met her, I was just giving her the whole, keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case. It was over time and over conversations. And at the time, I have to go back to, I was in a really good place, and good things happen to me. I want good things to happen to other people, and I wanted to share. And there's also this mistaken idea that, oh, so you gave all of this information to this white woman, but you don't give free information to Black women. And it just boggles my mind when people say that, because I've been on YouTube for 10 years, and prior to my courses, everything was 100% free.
Yeah,
and
you just click on the video. Yeah.
And I've helped, and here's the thing, I've helped a lot of Black female content creators and given them access to the back end. I just don't talk about it. You wouldn't have known about this situation had the other thing happened. It's not something that I broadcast. I believe that when I do work for people and help people, it's not something that I immediately announce. I've given dozens of free courses to people. I have a course called the Pink Pill for College that I've gifted college age young Black women. I've given the Pink Pill to women who are struggling and I know they can't afford it. I've given that to them. So the idea that people are formulating that I just saw this white woman and I was so just aglow to just be basking in her presence that I gave her everything. What I gave her, the advice that I gave her, I've given to many Black women. So I want to be that I come from a place of giving information, helping people, because I want people to win. If I see something in you, and I don't care what color you are, if I see something in you, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you.
Now, when you said you asked her twice and you said her response, especially the second time when you were, mimicking her response, it seems like she was offended. The response she gave you seemed like she was offended by you asking her for a shout out.
Yes.
Why do you think she would be offended?
I think that at the time she was just very confident of herself and had forgotten how she got where she'd gotten. And I believe that there are some people in the world that believe that if I give you something, then that takes away from me. If I don't win everything, I have to win everything or nothing. Like if you win, then I lose. And so I have to win, and I can't give anything because giving you something takes away from me. And those are the people that have a reluctance to share because they're often frightened that giving you something will take away from something that they have. And they come from a position of scarcity, that there can only be one, and that there was not enough room for other people here. Yeah.
After you made your video about the situation, and I went to her channel, her Instagram, I want to say 1 or 2 days later, and I saw she did, an interview with one of her students, someone that she mentored, a Black woman that she mentored. And I felt like that's what really, to be honest with you, it upset me because I felt like she only wanted herself to be in a place of authority. So for her, if she was going to share her platform with any other woman of color, it had to be someone who looked up to her, not someone that mentored her that she looked up to at one point, but it had to be someone that looked up to her.
But I also thought it was just a very cynical thing because it had happened a day or so after I'd come out with what I said. And to sort of use, it was almost like a re-victimization of Black women that, okay, well, in order to clean this up, I'm going to highlight this woman of color, this token person. to assuage any suspicion that I don't care, or that I can't lend expertise in that area. It just was a very cynical response. And it was—
I feel like she used that woman. She used you, and I feel like she used that woman. That woman probably doesn't even know, what's going on. But I feel like she used her. And I know you've definitely learned from this situation and shared it on your channel. So what is next? Can you tell us more about the Pink Pill for Business?
Oh, I'm so excited. So I launched the Pink Pill for Business last Wednesday, and it is a comprehensive course based on my training. I was recently certified as a business etiquette consultant, trained by the Charleston School of Protocol, and I'm also a style consultant, and I was trained by the Style Institute of London. So I utilized that knowledge,
yes,
so that we could approach business. We could learn about relationships, we can learn about style, we can learn about etiquette, and we can learn about strategy, so that we can win. Mm-hmm. And so that is just something that I am so passionate about. Having Black women who didn't maybe have that training, did not have those people pull you aside and say, here, this is how it's done. Using your style and your appearance, your grace and your etiquette and your knowledge of protocol to shine. It's not about doing one thing 1000% better. It's about doing a lot of little things 1% better. And all of those 1% things that you do better, that is the difference. That's the secret sauce. That makes you the distinction. So I teach Black women how to be the distinction and navigate in this world very confidently, whether they work for somebody or they're starting their own business. It works both ways. And so I launched a program called the Power 100. So the first 100 students would have special nurturing and support from me in a private group. I would give them additional training. I would train them on how they can start their successful online course, and also network. So we're building a database, so everybody who is in the Power 100 knows of everybody's background, what their expertise is, so that we can pool information. So the course is 3 phases. The first phase came out. The second phase is coming out next month. Okay. And then the third phase is going to be the Pink Pill for Business app. So wherever you go, you're going to be able to get tips and tricks to just, and sort of reminders of how you can best present yourself in the workplace or in a meeting, or if you're trying to sell something, just quick things that you can take with you. So my goal is to empower women to go to that level.
Let me ask you this, and this is based on a friend of mine. For me, like, I don't work in corporate America anymore. I was kind of like you, like, I graduated, first of all, going all through school, like, I was a straight A student, and people always tell you, oh, you're going to be so successful, and then I went to college, got a graduate degree, still thinking that I'm going to be successful. But for me, like, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't navigate corporate America well. Like, I can't get into that groove. But I have one of my best friends does so well. To be honest with you, she makes so much money. She's a dark-skinned woman. She will not wear braids to work, and she only wears muted colors. She, like what I have on right now, she would not wear to work, even though, it's lilac. Like, she only wears muted colors to work. And I want to know, do you think you can be like your full Black self in corporate America and still get ahead?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I will acknowledge that there were times where we did have to conform in certain ways that made us feel like we weren't really being our authentic selves. But the thing that I teach you is that you can be creative with your style and express yourself within the confines of the corporate dress code. So you do need to know your LOL. I call it the LOL, which is the lay of the land. So you need to observe others and how they dress, because it may not be about you being Black. It could be the corporate culture that mandates a certain look. And so you're going to have to navigate and express yourself within what is acceptable for that organization. But I think that color is important. I love color. Color speaks a language. Color can influence the psychology of you and how others feel about you. Like right now, I'm wearing orange.
Yeah.
That means
Beautiful.
something.
Yeah.
Thank you. That these colors have meaning. Say, for example, you're having a presentation where you want people to be excited and you want people to buy into what you're saying. Maybe you wear red, because red is dynamic and it's energizing. And and say you're down that day and you're like, I need a quick pick me up, and wear red.
I think that is okay.
Absolutely.
I'm so surprised to hear this. I'm so surprised, because so many Black women will not wear bright colors to work.
No, you absolutely can. But the thing is to have balance, because here's the thing: you want to express yourself stylishly, but you don't want it to be a distraction.
Right. Right.
So when you distract, then people stop really listening to you, and they're paying more attention to what you're wearing. So I wouldn't wear this to a board meeting.
Right.
Distracting, you know.
It's too cute, basically. It's too cute.
But so you want to make sure that you're being true to your personal style, and I do talk about that in the Pink Pill. We have a quiz on discovering your style personality, and we talk about colors. And the thing is that colors have a psychological effect. They really do.
Yeah, I believe that.
For instance, if you want somebody to trust what you're saying, say you want somebody to trust a law or some legislation, you wear blue, because blue is the color of professionalism,
Yes.
of knowledge, of security. Think about, police officers. I know that's hard right now, but
Yeah.
there's why they wear blue. They wear blue because the colors mean something. They signify something. So what I say to women is that embrace color. Understand the colors that work for your undertone, though, because that was something that I had to learn too. I have yellow undertones, but so certain colors are going to work to magnify and make me glow in a way that other colors won't.
Right.
Did you know that if you have the right color for your skin tone, you don't have to wear as much makeup? People will say that your skin is glowing, you look younger. Color is so important.
Okay. So in your book, do you also touch on hair, like natural hair? Black women with natural hair, you touch on that?
I have a whole section on my favorite natural hairstyles. And so there's going to be times, like, again, you want your style to manifest who you are on the inside. You want it to reflect who you are and how you think of yourself, but you don't want it to be a distraction. So even within your style personality, there will be times that you may have to mute that, because not because, oh, well, they just can't handle a Black woman. No, it's because the culture is more conservative. And if you choose to work there, then you're going to have to work within the confines of that. And that doesn't mean clone yourself to be, a white person.
Yeah.
Your authentic self. You work within the confines of what is expected of everybody, but you can always do a little flair. Earrings, a ring, a bracelet, something that shows yourself. I'm a romantic, creative style personality. So there's always something that I add, just like a little something that shows people that I have a little bit of flair.
Yeah.
So if I would just wear a plain black dress, there would be something that I would wear that would show them that, I'm not the typical, that there's something about me that has a little bit of flair and creativity.
Okay, I like that. I definitely like that. All right, so what else do you want to share with the Lailah Lynn audience today?
Well, the Power 100 group has filled up fast. We only have, as of this recording, we only have 15 spots, and we just were released on Wednesday. So if you're interested, please go to my socials. If I will give you my link tree, Lailah, so you can post it and they can get access to all of my socials.
Yeah, I'll pin it. If you look down in the comments, it'll be a pinned comment.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me.